Welcome, welcome. As I promised, I'm going to show you my PPC estimator. What is this tool for? Obviously to estimate your PPC. But just before we get started into that, I just want to make sure that you already know and subscribe to my blog and to my newsletter, so you're always up to date on what I'm actually doing and writing. And I think I'm trying to share most important information with you. All right, let's get started with the PPC calculator. Why is that important? I'll just pull this over here. So you will be able to get this one. Just write me or click down in the comments and go to the download section and download this one, or write me and you get it, or hopefully you have subscribed to my newsletter, then you can already definitely download it and use it. So what's that important for? When you do your profitability to choose your product, you should put some money aside for advertising, pay-per-click on Amazon. Why is that? I know that some courses say, oh, you don't need to do that, just point of difference will just make you a big seller. And yes, point of difference obviously is the most important point, but if nobody sees your point of difference, so if you're not visible, then it doesn't really matter how great you are, right? You can be a beauty queen, but if you always at home in your basement and nobody can see you, then nobody knows how beautiful you are. So that's the same with your products. If nobody can see you, nobody will buy it, no matter how great it is. So what you have to do is get into people's face all the time. The less popular your product is right now, like if you're doing an invention or something, the more money you need to put aside. The average conversion on Amazon is 10%. When you start out, you're most likely going to have a little bit of a lesser conversion because you're going to not have any reviews unless you do some crazy pre-launch. You're not going to have many, probably, especially if you do a few nice extras like a great, better quality, or adding something. Your product may be a bit more expensive than other people's. And then, of course, hopefully you do have a lot of really amazing images. So the listing should be great, but pricing can be a bit of a challenge and reviews can be a bit of a challenge. But once you've got it, calculate around 10% conversion rate. You can always adjust this to your actual conversion rate. So if you know, based on all your other products you've already been selling, or you see like what other sellers tell you, or you know your competition, if you know there's like more like 5% because it's just like a really high class item or really low class, or who knows, there's tons of competition, then pop that in there. You can adjust it, same as you can adjust your price. That's your sales price. And here is your target ACOS. I put 30% in there. Personally, I find that a little bit expensive, because keep in mind, this is the advertising cost of sale, right? So how much are you spending per product to sell? If you say 30% here, right, of $30, that can be already quite high in some cases, in a lot of cases actually. I have a lot of students who think 30% is their gross margin, is their profit margin. But this here down here, this comes actually out of your profit. So if you only have 30% gross margin, then you can't spend 30% on your advertising costs. Of course, there will be some organic sales, but this can be, depending on how much the ratio is between your organic and your paid sales, 30% can be a huge amount. At the beginning, I think it's perfectly fine. Eventually, we want to reduce this even more, unless we can reduce the overall PPC sales and just go into more organic. So bear in mind, at the beginning, you will spend way more money on advertising. And over time, with your organic rank increasing for a lot of important keywords, you will be able to adjust it, and you also have a better conversion because you're going to have more reviews, and you know your pricing is nice and people are going to love it. And so every time when somebody clicks on it, they're probably going to love it. So 1 in 10 people will love it. At the beginning, there was like, oh, there's another guy, he's really new, I don't want to be the guinea pig. So your conversion is probably just going to be anywhere between 3 to 5%, but you can adjust it. So let's just estimate here 30%, $30, 10% conversion. Then you say, you can even know, you can do this actually later on, but per keyword. So if you have one your manual campaign or your automatic campaign, and you can see Okay, that's the data. Now I'm going to adjust this to my manual campaign. You can check the conversion per keyword and check your target acres, what you would like to have per keyword. And then this would be your target cost per click. So if you know that for butter dish, you'd want to have 30% acres, then you shouldn't bid more than 90 cents. And if you have fixed bids, and that's not what's going to happen. Doesn't mean that you're going to increase your conversion. It means that's based on your conversion and based on your personal target. That's the bid you should put in. How that we don't know how this actually impacts Amazon, right? Because if your competition are all happy to spend $50, sorry, not 50, have a 50% acres, then you're probably going to not convert as much, or you're just not going to be as visible. But that's just to have some sort of idea. If you know 10%, that's your pricing, this is where you want to be, because this is still only, let's say, you still have you make like a 60% gross margin, which is like kind of what I like to go for, and that's your spend based on 100 sales. Yeah, so that's your revenue, and then you have your target acres. So you're going to spend around $900 to sell 100 units based on this. And I know for fact that most new sellers do not estimate this in at all. They're putting like, if they put anything in, which I'm already happy about, they're putting like $300 in there to sell 100 units. And then they realize after they already just run their automatic campaign that they already spent $200. And I haven't even adjusted anything. They have maybe not even started selling properly. So make sure you actually use this calculator. It gives you a really good idea on what you have to expect. If it's less, awesome. If it's slightly more, okay. Don't put nothing in your profitability calculator because you're going to be shocked. That's just an advice. And like I said, you can obviously adjust this per keyword once you have your automatic campaign and adjust your bids. It can be a bit of a manual work. There are tools out there, but I think this is just really great to get started. Once you've used this one, make sure you also watch my other PPC video on how I personally evaluate my automatic campaign and how I go about the color coding and everything. Make sure you subscribe to my newsletter and to this channel to get more information.